Well, good morning there. How did everybody sleep? Or did you sleep at all? Or were you just refreshing Twitter, waiting to see what Christian McCaffrey's number with the 49ers will be? I don't blame you, regardless of whether you slept or not, because I think everybody had some high adrenaline last night. So, with me, when I cover breaking news like this, it's tough to sleep because I'm always a little anxious that there was another development. So I usually just get enough sleep to be able to function the next day. So this is me on very, very, very minimal rest. And you just kind of go through on adrenaline. Stuff is going to continue developing today. It might even be, I mean, yesterday was more shocking. I know that we anticipated that this trade might come, but still, when it actually happens, when it actually crosses your screen, and you initially start reacting to it, it's a scramble drill for everyone. Today will still be extremely interesting because Christian McCaffrey is currently en route on a private jet across the country. He's in Missouri airspace as we speak. And B, he's going to land at the 49ers facility at about 11 o'clock today. The San Jose landing time at the airport is 10:46 a.m. 49ers have practice/walkthrough today, their final availability before the Chiefs game. So Christian McCaffrey is going to undergo his physical. He's going to meet his teammates, and we're probably going to find out what number Christian McCaffrey is going to wear. And that seems to be on the minds of many, many 49ers fans. So first, why don't we take a look at this? This is the article that just came out. How much will Christian McCaffrey play in his 49ers debut against the Chiefs? That is linked in the description. I'm also going to link it into the chat section right now. So go ahead and check that out. We'll discuss just how much I think Christian will play against the Chiefs, but I am confident that he will play for the 49ers against the Chiefs. Kyle Shanahan just came on KMBR this morning and said that he doesn't know. Well, Kyle said the same thing after trading for Emmanuel Sanders in 2019. And granted, that was earlier in the week, but a good, meticulous football player will be ready to contribute immediately, especially if it's not the quarterback position. I get if it's not QB because you're running everything. I know it took a few weeks for Jimmy Garoppolo in 2017. But in the case of Christian McCaffrey, it's just like Emmanuel Sanders in 2019. This is a skill position player who's going to plug into the 49ers offense. McCaffrey's already been running outside zone. He's obviously smart, Stanford alumnus. That's what Adam Schefter used as his he might play on Sunday rationale. He did go to Stanford. Well, thank you for the compliment to Stanford alumni. But we already knew that Christian McCaffrey was smart. And even if he didn't go to Stanford, we know how detail-oriented and meticulous he is. So, yes, I think he's going to play. But first things first, what number will he wear with the 49ers? Well, you see down here that Christian McCaffrey wore 22 for the Panthers. 22 is Jeff Wilson's number for the 49ers. Jeff Wilson, though, used to be 30 for the 49ers. So there's a chance that Christian McCaffrey can buy 22 from Jeff Wilson at a reasonable price. Wilson moves back to 30, which I believe belongs to George Odom now. So that might take some other shuffling. But McCaffrey, if he really wants the 22, can settle into that role. Or we can go real blast to the past. This is Christian McCaffrey in his freshman year at Stanford, wearing the 27, which belongs to Dante Johnson now. I don't think that Christian McCaffrey wants to stay at the number 27, though, because otherwise he would have stayed there after his freshman year at Stanford. He moved to number 5. The problem is that number 5 is owned by a very prominent 49er who's currently on injured reserve, and that is Trey Lance. I think it would be absolutely shocking, even more shocking than this trade was to some people, if Christian McCaffrey were to somehow get the number 5 jersey that he wore at Stanford from Trey Lance. Now, one thing that you will notice, though, is that this Stanford jersey that Christian McCaffrey wore looks very, very reminiscent to the jersey that Christian McCaffrey is going to wear come Sunday. And this is Ed McCaffrey, Christian's dad. Ed played for the 49ers in 1994. It just so happens that in his first game with the 49ers, Christian McCaffrey will wear the same uniform as his dad, Ed, did in his final game with the 49ers, which was the Super Bowl to close the 1994 season. There's a picture of the Super Bowl. The 49ers will be wearing their 1994 throwbacks on Sunday against the Chiefs. So I fully expect Christian McCaffrey to play. And when he does play, he's going to don the uniform that his dad here, Ed McCaffrey, wore in that Super Bowl, his final game with the 49ers. That uniform, in turn, is very similar to this one. Red jersey, white pants. That's what Christian McCaffrey wore at Stanford. I don't know what number it will be for Christian McCaffrey, but obviously 81 cannot be off the table yet at this point. 81 was Ed McCaffrey's number with the 49ers. Now, I always wonder, how the hell is 81 not retired yet? Not because of Ed McCaffrey, but because of Terrell Owens, who I think is the second greatest receiver of all time, behind only number 80. But I get it. If you retired everybody's number, you wouldn't have enough numbers. The thing is, I think that Owens was good enough for that honor, but it hasn't been retired, so I think it's technically available. Right now, it's Tyler Kroft's number on the 49ers, the tight end. He might be willing to sell to Christian McCaffrey if Christian McCaffrey wants to keep this in the family. If Christian McCaffrey wants to pay homage to his dad, who wore number 81 back in that 1994 season. Ed McCaffrey, by the way, scored a touchdown against the Tampa Bay Buccaneers in 1994. He caught the pass from Steve Young. Guess who was on that Tampa Bay defense? John Lynch, who just traded for Christian McCaffrey, Ed's son, yesterday. Guess who was teammates with Ed McCaffrey, Christian's dad, in college? John Lynch. So it's all a small world, full circle. We talk about the connections that the 49ers had, the pre-made connections with Christian McCaffrey. We just talked about Stanford. John Lynch obviously scouted him extensively coming out of Stanford in 2017. I always have thought that the 49ers, Shanahan and Lynch, have considered McCaffrey the one that got away because they didn't quite want to draft a luxury offensive piece yet when they were building the franchise in 2017. They drafted Solomon Thomas instead. That obviously didn't work out. That's, one of Christian McCaffrey's best friends, teammates from Stanford, but they didn't pick McCaffrey at number 3. He went number 8 to Carolina. You have that one that got away feeling throughout all of this. Well, 5-6 years later, the 49ers have a chance to grab Christian McCaffrey via trade, and they obviously do it by sending 4 picks Carolina's way. But you talk about the family connections. Kyle Shanahan may or may not have babysat Christian McCaffrey. Nobody seems quite sure. Oh boy, we got the alarm going off here. Give me 1 second. Let me turn this sucker off on the phone. Problem is that I use my phone as the camera. And when we do that, the alarm is on the camera, so it makes for a harder situation. That's the problem when you cover breaking news. You set your alarm and you forget, but you wake up. I went to bed so late last night, I thought I was going to wake up at 8 o'clock. And this is 8 o'clock Pacific, obviously, for those of you watching elsewhere. But obviously, I'm up way sooner than that. I already have the blazer on doing this live. Yeah, I don't know if I can talk to Siri when I'm recording from my computer. All right. Did that work? Yeah, I think it worked. I think I'm back. I think we're good. You guys still hear me? Yeah, we're fine. All right. So, I was talking about the Kyle Shanahan, the whole Shanahan family and the McCaffrey family connection, because Ed McCaffrey on your screen went to Denver after the 1994 season with Mike Shanahan, who was the 49ers offensive coordinator for that Super Bowl with Steve Young. Mike Shanahan took the head coaching job in Denver. Ed McCaffrey was one of his key pieces there for the Broncos. Christian McCaffrey, his formative years were spent in Denver, and he was born there, and he was a baby there. He's a very young child there. And Kyle Shanahan was a teenager at the time because his dad, Mike Shanahan, was coaching the Broncos. It is confirmed that Kyle Shanahan's sister babysat Christian McCaffrey and his 3 brothers. Christian McCaffrey has said, this was back in 2017, that Kyle Shanahan at least once babysat him. But Kyle Shanahan thinks that he got out of that responsibility because Kyle Shanahan was a sneaky teenager at the time, and he didn't want to babysit Christian McCaffrey. He didn't want to be busied with that. So Kyle Shanahan believes that he was able to pass it off to his sister. We're going to check with Kyle again today to see if maybe his recollection of those events has changed, because Christian McCaffrey said in 2017 that Kyle babysat him, but it turns out that it might only be Kyle's sister. I don't know. It's a big mystery, but these two families are connected, and now they're connected even more. And I mean, if you want to take the step of connections, well, 1 degree further, why don't we find this right here? I have one more cool little piece for you. This one I have to. There we go. All right, so check this out. This is Max McCaffrey. Max McCaffrey is Christian's brother. Max McCaffrey played for the 49ers from 2017 to 2019, mainly kind of a practice squad guy, but there were times that he was on that 53-man roster. So between Max McCaffrey, Ed McCaffrey, so this is dad Ed McCaffrey, one son Max McCaffrey, and then obviously Christian McCaffrey, that's me with Christian McCaffrey in 2016 at Stanford. You have 3 members from one single family who have played for the same NFL franchise in the 49ers. I will do my research, but I believe that this has never happened before. Again, dad, son, second son, one, we don't have a picture yet of Christian McCaffrey in a 49ers uniform, but you're going to have 3 members from a single family wearing the 49ers uniform. How cool is that? I mean, sometimes this intertangled web of connections, and you just can't make it up, right? And I think this is definitely one of those situations. So when we talk about what number Christian McCaffrey will wear with the 49ers, hey, maybe I left out one. Maybe he can wear the number 14. Maybe 14 is something that Christian McCaffrey can think about wearing, because Max wore it for the 49ers. Max also wore number 1 for the 49ers, but that was before defensive backs could wear it. And Jimmy Ward has number 1. So the number situation for Christian McCaffrey is going to be absolutely fascinating. And we'll see who he has to buy off to wear their number, or which number he settles for, which number he might like that he never had a chance to wear since his childhood. It's all possible. But to me, I think the coolest would be if McCaffrey wore 81. The TO connection would be awesome. But the fact that his dad wore that in 1994, I think that would be sweet. And we're talking about positionless skill position versatility here. McCaffrey's going to line up at running back and at receiver. So 81 just being all over the field, that would be neat to me. I do think, though, that Christian McCaffrey prefers single digits. That's why he went from the 27 his freshman year at Stanford to the 5 his sophomore and his junior years at Stanford. He thinks he looks faster in the single digits. A lot of guys think that. That's why all these DBs, once they had a chance to move to the single digits. So I wouldn't be surprised if Christian McCaffrey somehow finagled his way into a single digit. Somebody was talking about the 2. Well, the problem is Jason Verrett has the 2. You can go through the list. Emmanuel Mosley's currently on the shelf right now for the season, right? He has the 4 for the 49ers. Ray McLeod has the 3. Lance has the 5. Danny Gray has the 6. 7. Who has a 7 right now for the Charvarius Ward for the 49ers? 8. Nobody's going to wear the 8. That's Steve Young's retired jersey. And does anybody have the 9 right now for the 49ers? I'm trying to think if anybody has the 9 for the 49ers. I'm just going through the single digits because everyone is taken, and I can't think of who might have the 9 at the minute. But yeah, Brock Purdy is number 13. He was number 14 in the preseason. I see people talking about it in the comment section. I mean, most of these numbers are taken, right? There's going to have to be a marketplace for most numbers that Christian McCaffrey will potentially want. He's going to have to buy the number off of somebody unless the guy is feeling generous. But normally in these locker rooms, you can charge a premium, especially when a player comes in with a little bit of coin like Christian McCaffrey has, because he's already signed a big contract with the Carolina Panthers. Robbie Gould is number 9. That's right. I should have known that. Robbie Gould is 9. So, yeah, I don't know if Robbie's going to be wanting to change his number. So every single digit is accounted for, right? Including number 8, Steve Young. And I don't know if you can wear 0. I mean, 0 would be pretty 0 would be pretty cold on Christian McCaffrey. I'll tell you that, if he really wants the single digit. But I think only refs can wear 0. Because somebody just asked if 0 is an option too. I was wondering the same thing. I mean, 0 would be ice cold. That would be something else. But we'll figure it out. There's Christian McCaffrey in the Stanford uniform, which looks a whole lot like the first uniform he's going to wear with the 49ers. The throwback 1994 jersey. You cannot make this stuff up. The convergence of all of this is wild to me. 94 throwback jerseys. Christian McCaffrey traded to the team that his dad played for in 1994, where he wore these jerseys. And it also happens to be National Tight End Day. So you're going to have George Kittle against Travis Kelce with Greg Olsen in the booth. These are the guys that founded Tight End University, those three, Olsen, Kittle, and Kelce, on National Tight End Day, which is the fourth Sunday of October every year. It is officially christened by the NFL now. You have all these convergences for the game that's the rematch of Super Bowl 54. I think I got through everything, but I'm not sure. I'm going to copy and paste the link to the article up on the screen back into the chat section. That's the game preview of 49ers and Chiefs. Oh, by the way, McCaffrey's jet is en route to the Bay Area. Let's take a look at this right now. We can look at the map. Here we are. So where's Christian at right now? He is above. He crossed Missouri really quick. He's above Kansas right now. And he's about to enter Colorado airspace probably in, I don't know, 30 minutes at the most, probably a little bit less. He is cruising at 43,000 feet. This plane took off from Charlotte at about 9 a.m. local time. So Christian McCaffrey was able to get a little bit of sleep, unless he was too excited about being traded to the 49ers. But he's a pro, so I think he was able to get some sleep. And it's going to be landing in San Jose at 10:47. Oh, my God, the alarm went off again. Hey, Siri, turn off the alarm. Oh, it worked. Amazing. I guess I just paused it earlier. Thank you to my great, very intelligent viewers for the tip. That helped a lot. Now, hopefully you guys can still hear me even after I told Siri to be quiet there. Yeah, good. I think you can. I think the mic's on. Anyway, this thing is going to land at San Jose at 10:47. You could see that McCaffrey is a little over halfway. It's a really high cruising altitude, 43,000 feet. And it is a private jet, as you can see. So that's the glory of the internet, folks. We can track Christian McCaffrey as he crosses the country. What's really neat is that in about 30 minutes or so, maybe a little bit more, he's going to be flying almost directly over his hometown, over Denver. So his family can wave to him as he continues into San Jose. And then we talk about timetable. Christian McCaffrey is going to land at almost 11 o'clock, right? I have to be down at the 49ers facility today, I think at 12:18 p.m. That's when practice starts. McCaffrey has to take a physical. Shanahan fully expects that he'll pass the physical. He's been healthy for all 6 games this year. So I'm guessing this thing lands at San Jose Airport at 10:47 a.m. There's going to be a car waiting on the tarmac to take Christian McCaffrey to the 49ers facility. That will take no more than 15 minutes. So if they make this bang, bang, if they make this quick, McCaffrey will be walking into the 49ers facility at right around 11 a.m. Get that physical knocked out. Probably, I mean, I don't see how that should take more than an hour, the physical. So he's done by 12. There, he probably on his way into the physical can request what jersey number he wants, or they give him a temporary jersey number. They're probably already stitching it up right now. There is a non-zero chance that Christian McCaffrey is on the 49ers practice field when they take it for a walkthrough level session at 12:18. They don't practice full speed on Fridays, so the 49ers don't have to worry about throwing him in full speed, but I'm sure they want him to start acclimating. So I think that McCaffrey will be, or at least have a chance to be out on the practice field at 12:18. And if he doesn't have a uniform on, maybe he'll come out from the physical and he'll just be hanging around the sideline. And then after practice is over, he'll be able to meet his new 49ers team if he hasn't met them before. So there's going to be meetings and stuff going on, maybe a walkthrough going on in the morning. But for that practice session, which is kind of like walkthrough speed at 12:18, based on the flight tracker right now, based on the fact that Christian McCaffrey is cruising along at 43,000 feet, 490 knots, going over Kansas right now, about to pass over his hometown of Denver. Based on that progress, I think Christian McCaffrey can make 49ers practice today. And then you start talking about acclimatization. So, I talk about will the 49ers beat the Chiefs? That's this article right here. And maybe we make a separate video for this as well. But um, my headlining thought here in this article is how much is Christian McCaffrey going to play against the Kansas City Chiefs? And I go back to 2019 when the 49ers traded for Emmanuel Sanders. Now, that happened on a Tuesday. Then they played McCaffrey and the Panthers, very coincidentally, on the next Sunday. And Emmanuel Sanders played 53 of 66 49ers offensive snaps against Carolina. He caught 4 passes from Jimmy Garoppolo, including a touchdown in the red zone. So it obviously wasn't too much for Emmanuel Sanders to enter the lineup right away and start contributing. Now, remember that the Thursday after that, so just over a week after joining the 49ers, Sanders and Jimmy Garoppolo connected for one of the most beautiful deep out patterns that you'll see, where Garoppolo threw the ball before Sanders broke out. It was a complete blind trust play. It was one of those where you had to have rapport with somebody. And, I asked both of them after that game, how many times have you practiced that? And they said they actually hadn't practiced it at full speed. They'd only practiced it at walkthrough speed. So I think the lesson that I learned from that was Thursday Night Football against Arizona on Halloween night in 2019. It was a 22-yard gain on third and I think 12 from Jimmy Garoppolo to Emmanuel Sanders. Literally, he's releasing the ball before Sanders comes out of his break. So when Sanders comes out of his break, he turns around and the football is there waiting for him. It's the ultimate trust play. And I think what that told me is if you have meticulous, detail-oriented players, and Christian McCaffrey is definitely a meticulous, detail-oriented player, they can integrate into an NFL offense very quickly. And the 49ers spent a whole lot on Christian McCaffrey. I mean, the haul was an F them picks kind of haul. It was a 2023 second, a 2023 third, a 2023 fourth, and a 2024 fifth. That's 4 picks. Remember, I talked earlier in the week, I thought the 49ers would offer a third and a fourth and maybe toss in a fifth. I didn't think they would put in the 2. But they put in the 2 because they believe so much that Christian McCaffrey can boost them right now. Well, guess what? You're about to play the Kansas City Chiefs, and Christian McCaffrey is part of your team, physical pending. Once he passes that physical on Friday morning here in about 3 hours, I think you want to get Christian McCaffrey up to speed as quickly as possible. Because what's going on right now is the 49ers are hurting on the ground. Their run game hasn't been good, and Jeff Wilson fumbled, gave 7 points to the Atlanta Falcons. I mean, that was insult added to injury for the 49ers, right? They need more juice in that run game to hit the creases on the outside zone. And why not add that juice through a guy who can obviously help the pass game too? And that's what Christian McCaffrey is. This is a 1,000 player the last time that he was healthy. In short, Christian McCaffrey is a game-changing back if he can stay healthy. But what did I want to show you guys? I wanted to show you. There's always something cool I want to show you, but then I can't exactly remember what it's going to be. It's already 8:16 a.m. here on the West Coast. Man, time goes quickly. Feels like it was just 8:16 p.m. when McCaffrey and the trade news to the 49ers came out. All right, why don't we talk about this? Will the 49ers beat the Chiefs? This is our game preview. This is going to be a fun one because this is a rematch of Super Bowl 54. The 49ers lost in gut-wrenching fashion on that night in Miami. They controlled the game for over 75% of it, right? But then they blew it at the end. Offense collapsed, defense collapsed. Both phases of the game did not hold up their end of the bargain at the end. The Chiefs look a lot different now in some key spots, but they look very, very similar in the even more important spots, and that is mainly the quarterback position with Patrick Mahomes and the tight end position with Travis Kelce. Kelce is Mahomes' favorite receiver. Tyreek Hill is gone. The Chiefs traded him to Miami, but this offense can still move the football. They're still ranked high in that league pecking order, and the Chiefs still struggle on the defensive side of the ball. They were better ranked in 2019 than they are now. It was a middle of the pack defense in 2019. Now it's the number 28 defense in the league per DVOA. So one of the keys for the 49ers is to capitalize on the fact that the Chiefs are an imbalanced team. And to illustrate the imbalance on the Chiefs, we have the DVOA breakdown here for Kansas City. Blue is good, red is bad. You could see that there's blue in offense, especially pass offense, number 2 in the league, behind only Buffalo. Red, number 28, especially pass defense. Not good for the Kansas City Chiefs. They are either bad or inexperienced at corner. It looks like they'll get their rookie first-round pick, Trent McDuffie, back at cornerback. But the other guys there have not impressed anybody, including Rashad Fenton. L'Jarius Sneed is another option for corner if one of the two starters can't play. I look at Kansas City's cornerback situation and I say, well, it's good for them that they have a pass rush because the pass rush is what fuels this defense. Chris Jones is a monster inside. He wrecked the 49ers' dreams in that Super Bowl 3 seasons ago. Frank Clark also did a number on the 49ers. He rushes from the edge. Since then, the Chiefs have picked up Carlos Dunlap. Dunlap is the guy who flattened Tom Compton last year for Seattle and sacked Jimmy Garoppolo in the end zone for the safety. We know that Carlos Dunlap can rush the passer. The Chiefs aren't bad in adjusted sack rate and pressure rate. These guys can get after the quarterback. Where they really struggle is on the back end. Now, they're getting Willie Gay, one of their linebackers, back in this game. He might start. He's been suspended for 4 games, so we'll see if he does start in this one. But that should help the Chiefs because they haven't been good in coverage either with that linebacker position. But you really, really have to worry about their secondary, especially the cornerback position. And I think the 49ers can expose it, even with guys like McCaffrey, who might be new to their playbook on Sunday. But obviously, the 49ers have more than just Christian McCaffrey. They also have Deebo Samuel. So imagine Christian McCaffrey with Deebo Samuel, with Brandon Ayuk, with George Kittle, you name it. Kyle Juszczyk is another Joker-type weapon. These are positionless skill positions that the 49ers can throw out there and really tax opposing defenses with. I think the 49ers can immediately tax this number 28 ranked Chiefs defense with their combo of skill position players, and they're going to start mixing Christian McCaffrey into that. Because I'll tell you what, when you look at the Chiefs offense and you look at the fact the 49ers defense has some injury issues in the middle, and that's something that will pop open here, talking about the 49ers defensive tackle position, the 49ers are still going to be vulnerable, even if players are returning on the defensive side of the ball. So that means that the 49ers offense is going to have to carry the torch in this game. They had the responsibility of carrying the torch against the Atlanta Falcons, but I don't think they did a good job, right? So they're going to have to do a better job here against the defense for the Chiefs that is ranked right around where the Falcons defense was. And the 49ers had no trouble moving it against the Falcons, but they really had trouble actually converting scoring opportunities or not shooting themselves in the foot so they wouldn't negate the way that they move the ball. So in this game, they have to find a way to be cohesive offensively and actually finish the job. Quick look at Patrick Mahomes. Here are his numbers this year. Number 3 in adjusted net yards per attempt. Number 3 in EPA per play. He's taken a lot longer to throw the football, which is typical Patrick Mahomes, 2.82 seconds. That ranks down at number 26. That means that he likes to scramble, get outside the pocket. That's something the 49ers have to stop in this game because once Mahomes starts playing backyard football, Kelsey's one of the best in the game at finding and feeling the openings in a defense, and trying to cover him for 3 or 4 seconds or more is often just a futile task. Mahomes has been decently accurate, a little bit above expectation on the accuracy front. He, is throwing some short passes. The air yardage isn't that high. I mean, we know that Andy Reid likes to scheme a good short game in, and that's important for the Chiefs to beat opposing pass rushes, to set up yards after the catch. The 49ers and the Chiefs are typically 2 of the best teams in the league at setting up yards after the catch, and Mahomes has obviously done that this year. And his big-time throw percentage is 4.8%. Now, that's a subjective stat from PFF, but it's a stat that I like to follow to see how aggressive a team is being with a QB and how that QB is delivering when they're asking him to be aggressive. And the crazy thing is, a lot of people are going to think this is wild, but it's true. Jimmy Garoppolo ranks higher than Patrick Mahomes this season in big-time throw rate. Garoppolo's at 5.2%. That ranks him number 5 in the league, and Mahomes is number 7. So essentially, you have 2 QBs in Garoppolo and Mahomes who are entering this game playing at a very high level. And that makes this just must-watch TV for me. It's going to be must-watch from the press box for me. I guess I'll have a TV screen there so I can watch the replay. But for anybody not going to the game, I think this is must-watch TV because, A, you have a Super Bowl rematch, same quarterbacks from that game. And the 49ers quarterback right now is playing really, really well. Jimmy Garoppolo is being asked to deliver downfield. He's delivering downfield. He's becoming progressively more accurate with each subsequent week after his return from shoulder surgery. It's been impressive stuff. And now you add Christian McCaffrey into the fold. You already have the other players that I talked about, Deebo Samuel, Brandon Ayuk, George Kittle, Kyle Juszczyk. I mean, we could go down the list. Jawan Jennings has been doing good stuff for the 49ers this year. Mahomes has old faithful Travis Kelce, right? I mean, he's got McCole Hardman is still on this Chiefs team. Juju Smith-Schuster is on this Chiefs team. Marquez Valdez-Scantling is on this Chiefs team. So they've poached receivers from other organizations, and they're trying to replace the speed presence that's Tyreek Hill. But you have good QB play on both sides. That's the long story short in this situation. The Chiefs also have a good offensive line. It's totally different than the offensive line that the 49ers faced in that Super Bowl 3 seasons ago. All 5 starters are different. Orlando Brown Jr. is now the left tackle. That'll be an interesting matchup against Nick Bosa, because I do expect Nick Bosa to play. That's big for the 49ers. 49ers obviously healing as this week has progressed. Creed Humphrey, the center for the Kansas City Chiefs, is the rookie that the second-year guy now. But back when he came out of the draft last year, everybody wanted the 49ers to take him for a center succession plan. They didn't, but he's playing good football for the Chiefs now. Joe Thuney, really good left guard. He was one of the best on the market. The Chiefs signed him. The Chiefs basically learned their lesson, both from the Super Bowl against the 49ers and the next season against Tampa Bay. Against the 49ers, the Chiefs gave up 31 pressures. Bosa himself had 14. The fact that 49ers couldn't turn that into a win is extremely, extremely heartrending for the 49ers because they pressured Mahomes so effectively. And then everybody will talk about holding and all that. Yeah, of course. I mean, I think the officials missed some stuff in that game. The 49ers certainly think so. But even then, the 49ers mercilessly pressured Patrick Mahomes, and they obviously couldn't finish the job. But the next year, the Chiefs lost to the Buccaneers, and their line just got destroyed. I don't think they scored a touchdown, right? 9 points for Patrick Mahomes against the Tampa Bay Buccaneers. So Andy Reid and the Kansas City Chiefs went back to the drawing board. They had some retirements along the offensive line, but they basically just blew the whole thing up and rebuilt it. And now they have 5 new starters, a combination of the draft and free agency. And it's going to be one hell of a battle against the 49ers front that features Nick Bosa. It features Charles Omenihu, Samson Ebukam, Drake Jackson. I mean, you talk about the Chiefs rush. George Karlaftis, their first rounder, the number 30 overall pick, he's been getting after it this year. He's got a nice little pressure rate, not as good as Drake Jackson's, but look out for him on the other end. But to me, it's the battle between the 49ers D-line and the Chiefs O-line that's going to be a headlining matchup in this game. Now, the Chiefs, it's interesting because the 49ers, I talked about this a lot earlier in the week, the 49ers really struggled to stop the interior run. The defensive tackles with no Eric Armstead, no Javon Kinlaw weren't really good against Atlanta. So do you see Clyde Edwards-Helaire, Jerick McKinnon? There's a blast from the past, former 49er. Do you see the Chiefs try to run up the middle? Do you see them try to expose the 49ers tackle situation, even though the Chiefs are normally a very pass-happy team under Patrick Mahomes? Maybe, but I don't know if the Chiefs are built the same way as the Falcons to capitalize on that 49ers weakness. So in a really weird roundabout way, the 49ers injury situation, which is going to be very, very pronounced again at defensive tackle, might actually be better insulated against a team like the Chiefs that throws a ton than it was against a team like the Falcons that runs a lot. Well, we'll see if that theory holds up. I'm not sure. But I think for the Chiefs, it's really important to have those edge rushers. And, not having Bosa or Ebukam as might be a possibility when those guys, were missing some practice time. Not having those two guys would be big trouble for the 49ers, but they will have those two guys. Now, I mean, you talk about Charvarius Ward, and he hasn't practiced yet. It's Friday right now. I'm going to head out to the facility after this. Charvarius Ward, former Chief, didn't practice on Wednesday, didn't practice on Thursday. Will he practice Friday? Doesn't matter if he practices Friday. My thing, he's got the groin injury, and everybody else has been returning that we expect, to play in this game. We don't expect Armstead to play. He hasn't returned, but everybody else has been at least taking part in some level of practice. Even Talanoa Hufanga, who's in the concussion protocol, has been out on the practice field. But Charvarius Ward hasn't been out there, and he told me he felt awesome when I saw him in passing in the locker room on Wednesday. But does Charvarius Ward need the practice here in this week against the Chiefs, considering that he used to play for Kansas City and has 3 training camps going head-to-head versus Patrick Mahomes under his belt? That's the big question to me. I think that Charvarius Ward, we can't discount his potential availability for Sunday just because he's missed practice on both Wednesday and Thursday because of the history that he has knowing the Chiefs inside out through his time there, especially working against Mahomes in training camp. Now, Ward, the reason I'm talking so in depth about Charvarius Ward is that you're playing Patrick Mahomes, you're playing the Chiefs. You want one of those shutdown corners to take away at least half the field. And that's why, and Charvarius Ward has been talking excitedly about this game on social media against his former team. I don't think we can rule him playing out. If he doesn't play, oh boy, the 49ers, this might become a little dicier for the 49ers. Let's pop open a depth chart. Let's do it. There it is. Let's see what the 49ers options would be. You could see a whole lot less red on this. I erased some of the pink that marks injuries yesterday because guys are coming back. I'll take myself off the screen so I'm not blocking it. But, go to the cornerback position. If Ward is unable to go, Jason Verrett is over here. He's ramping up, but nobody's sure if he's going to be ready for game speed yet. The 49ers might just, still continue to slow play him, although Verrett has looked a lot quicker and more agile at practice this week than he did 2 weeks ago. So, we're kind of dealing with a cornerback dichotomy, right? We're watching Verrett ramp up while we're wondering what's going on with Charvarius Ward behind the scenes. Ward was actually working off on the side field yesterday. So maybe, just maybe, you could replace a big-time corner with a big-time corner, but I think that's a very tenuous proposition. Your other corner is Deommodore Lenoir because Emmanuel Mosley is on IR. Last week you started, or you didn't start, but you had Samuel Womack in opposite Deommodore Lenoir as an outside cornerback after Charvarius Ward went down, but it wasn't pretty for Samuel Womack last week, and that was Mariota throwing only 14 times. Against Mahomes, you could bet that he's going to get picked on. And you have Ambry Thomas, who's kind of become the forgotten man this year, but Ambry, his former college coach, Jim Harbaugh, is going to be in the building on Sunday, so maybe it's time for Ambry Thomas to shine. So many options. The 49ers also signed Kadar Hallman, who was with them during training camp this week. He's on the practice squad, and obviously have Dante Johnson, who actually played for Jim Harbaugh and was recruited by Jim Harbaugh to Stanford, but didn't go there. Dante Johnson is on the team, and he'll probably get flexed up as depth for this game. So those are the options. They look a whole lot better if Verrett can play or if Charvarius Ward can play. If neither of those two guys can play, this gets dicey for the 49ers at the cornerback position. And you're going full-on rush over coverage. You're just hoping that pass rush hits. My issue is the Chiefs have a really good offensive line, and I think the 49ers will generate their share of pressure, but you need the coverage to help the rush. It can't just be the rush working against the coverage. So that secondary situation, to me, that's tenuous. I think the 49ers can get away with the no Armstead Kinlaw in this game. I think that the tackle situation is going to be not as much at a disadvantage as it was against a smash mouth run heavy team like Atlanta because Kansas City throws more. So I think that will play into the hands of what the 49ers have personnel wise up front on the defensive line. But I think in the secondary, obviously personnel wise against the pass happy team, you want to have more veterans healthy. So we'll keep our eye out on those situations. Offensive side of the ball. I talked about it earlier. You have to block Chris Jones. You have to block Frank Clark, Karlaftis. You can use Christian McCaffrey on screen passes, probably. Those probably take a little bit more precision and coordination, so maybe not as many as you will over the next couple of weeks. But essentially, when you're talking about McCaffrey and ramping up the 49ers offense. It's about ramping up the run game. You have to be better on the ground so you can play good complementary football within the offense, and that stretches to complementary football within the 49ers defense. Finally, the 2012 49ers are going to be honored at this game. And I need to find which is the best 49ers team of the 2010s. Here it is. We're going to put this up on the screen for you guys. This is fun. So the 2012 49ers, Jim Harbaugh is going to be there. Obviously, this is a time heals all wounds kind of thing. Maybe he hasn't healed all the wounds, but Jim Harbaugh, who had that feud with Jed York, is going to be back in the building. And we're going to see Alex Smith back in the building. I don't know if we're going to see Kaepernick and Frank Gore. They haven't been officially reported to be planning to be in attendance, but they're the guys on the screen here. This is going to open itself up to so much discussion. There's a lot of really stupid discussion that's going on about Jim Harbaugh and Kyle Shanahan, and Jim Harbaugh coming back to coach the 49ers. Guys, it's not going to happen. But you can at least bury the hatchet of the past and celebrate a very entertaining 2012 49ers team. I mean, they had this is not just a celebration, in my opinion, of the 2012 team. It's the celebration of a team that went to the NFC Championship game in 3 straight seasons, 2011, 2012, and 2013. Super Bowl in one of those years, 2012. It's the 10-year anniversary of that. Brought a lot of people, a lot of good memories, and also, obviously, a lot of gut-wrenching heartbreak. They couldn't get it done at the very end. And, that was the theme of the 2010s for the 49ers. They had 2 teams who made it all the way to the Super Bowl, but had their hearts ripped out at the very end, the 2012 49ers and then the 2019 49ers. So I wrote a piece during the height of the lockdowns in 2020 that really studied which of these teams was the best, 2012 or 2019. And I also compared 2011 and 2013 to it. And I mean, you had the offense in 2012 was the best. You have it highlighted here in green. Overall DVOA for 2012 was the best, but the defense in 2019 was the best. And special teams, the Tony Montana squad in 2011 was the best. But when we talk about everything converging, Christian McCaffrey, the Stanford connection coming back to the Bay Area, well, that's a different era of Stanford football. He came after Jim Harbaugh was there. But Jim Harbaugh is also coming back to the Bay Area. He went from Stanford to the 49ers. It seems that the 49ers have very productively tapped into that Stanford well many times. And you go all the way back to Bill Walsh, right? Stanford coach becomes the 49ers coach, returns to Stanford after that. So this is the question. Which 49ers team was the best of the 2010s? If you want to read about that ahead of this Harbaugh reunion, maybe Harbaugh speaks to the 49ers team ahead of this game in a locker room that features Christian McCaffrey. I think that'd be pretty cool. It's all kind of coming full circle. All right, I promised I would answer this question. Will the 49ers beat the Chiefs? I realize I haven't answered it yet. My answer is yes, I think the 49ers will beat the Chiefs. And I have a prediction for a score that I think everybody will like. That's another blast to the past for the 49ers. But I think that the 49ers are more balanced than the Chiefs. They obviously play better defense, and I know the Chiefs have a better offense, but I think the 49ers have been leaving a lot on the table offensively, and I think the 49ers are so close to figuring it out. And Christian McCaffrey is probably going to play in the red zone and on third downs for the 49ers in this game. That would be my guess. That's how they're going to plug him in, insert him into this lineup. And if that's the case, then maybe he gives the 49ers a little bit of an added boost because the red zone is probably going to determine this game. Remember Eric Bieniemy and all that the Chiefs did, eye candy stuff in the red zone against the 49ers in 2019 in that Super Bowl, the little pirouettes they were doing. And, the pre-snap motion that confused the 49ers led to a touchdown. The Chiefs were good in the red zone in that game. They didn't always score in the red zone, but they were good in the red zone in that game. And if the 49ers can hold the Chiefs to 3 on some of these trips to the red zone, and the 49ers can just continue executing better on the offensive end, and they were showing definite signs of progress in weeks 4 and 5 before taking that step back in week 6. If the 49ers can continue improving, though, and if they can leverage a few snaps from Christian McCaffrey into some of that improvement, then I really do think that they can beat the Kansas City Chiefs because they are the more balanced team in this game. And the 49ers have been getting healthier over the course of the week, which I think is really important because they weren't really fielding an NFL contending caliber roster in Atlanta last week. Way too many guys out. But the 49ers continue healing. And I think if they get Charvarius Ward back and if he's healthy, and I don't know if they will because he hasn't practiced yet, obviously, but I think it's a lock if Charvarius Ward is in. Without Ward, it's sketchy, right? In that secondary, because I think Kansas City can really test that. So we'll see. My prediction for the score is going to come out tomorrow on Saturday. So stay tuned for that. We're going to have a separate video for that one. Anyway, how will the 49ers do against the Chiefs? I think they're going to beat them. I think the 49ers are going to beat the Chiefs. Let's take one last look at Christian McCaffrey's flight status here. Over the course of this video, Christian McCaffrey has made it over an entire state, I believe. I mean, we've been talking for 45 minutes. Yeah, here we go. Christian McCaffrey, this is going to be a good time to finish this video. Look at this. Christian McCaffrey is in Colorado airspace, and he's about to hit Denver, his hometown. It is 9:38 a.m. in Denver, so those of you in Denver, you can look up into the sky, wave to Christian McCaffrey as he crosses his hometown. I mean, this is worth a screenshot. That's cool. I'm going to put that onto Twitter. You can wave to Christian McCaffrey as he passes his hometown on the flight changing NFL teams, right? He goes from the Carolina Panthers on one coast to the San Francisco 49ers on the other, and he flies right over his hometown of Denver. It's almost like they did that intentionally. Look, it's like they looped up just to say that they flew over Denver. I wonder if that was on purpose. I'm going to ask Christian McCaffrey about that in the locker room today. All right, everybody, thanks for joining. Make sure to check out the 49ers. I want to say Panthers, but no, the 49ers Chiefs preview. Panthers on my mind because the 49ers just made that trade. But be sure to check out the 49ers Chiefs preview. Linked everywhere here. Comment section, description, and in the chat section. Maybe one more time into the chat section. You guys want to see it? By the way, did I put which 49ers team is the best in the chat section? If I didn't, here it is. Best 49ers team of the 2010s. And here is the preview. Go ahead and check that out as Christian McCaffrey continues to make his way across country. Everybody take care. Thanks for joining. Like the video, sub to the channel, and of course, subscribe to The Athletic. You got the link to the article. It's in-depth stuff on 49ers Chiefs and Christian McCaffrey. Take care, everybody. Have a great Friday. Stay tuned for more coverage from the 49ers facility. So like and sub right now. Take care.